That's Snappy Tomato Pizza with Coach Jason Simpson here as the Skyhawks fell on the road to South Alabama 33-30. Coach, it's fall break. How does that affect you and the team? Do you get one?
Well, no, not really, but that's okay. No, actually, our guys, no class today, so they were in this morning. Actually, they weren't in today till 1. 1 o'clock we had a team meeting and got our lifts in, and players will be back tonight 7 for practice, and then they'll be back in the morning again for weights again. So we get through weights 3 times a week. So it's a little bit different for them, but it gives them a little bit of rest. It gives them an opportunity to catch up on some things, some schoolwork, on some rest, and hopefully let's have a good 2 days of practice before they go back to school on Wednesday. And so we need to take advantage of it. It comes at a good time for us.
Yeah, you forget these kids are taking 12 or more hours this semester.
Yeah, and midterms are out, and so you start getting who's got to do what. So it comes at a good time. I'm glad we were on the road during our fall break because that's most of our students are gone during that weekend. So would have liked to have won the game and be sitting here at 4-2 with the kids with 2 days off from school, but didn't happen, and so now I got no choice but to get ready for EIU.
I tell you, so close, Coach. Before we talk about the game, do you have any ambitious players? Can you take 15, 18, or 18 hours and be a football player?
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of players that
take 18?
Yeah, some more than that. I mean,
wow.
Well, there's a lot. Most of them, all of them will have to start off with 17. I mean, that's what we require them to start with 17. And you may drop to 14, but minimum of 12.
Right.
But, you're always going to sign up with 17 to 19 to 21. And some guys can handle it, some guys can't. So that is a balancing act for the players, a balancing act for the coaches when it comes to being on top of our players academically. So it's it can snowball on you if you're not on top of it daily.
I guess one of the good things about a football player as opposed to some of the other sports is that in the spring you can take, I guess, tougher classes because you have a little more time.
Right. And the only time you run into some things is when guys like we've got 8 guys that are seniors, and this semester they can graduate.
Oh.
So they've got to take these classes, and some of them are at certain times. They have to leave practice early because it's the only time it's offered, and that's tough on them. You wish that class was offered at some other times, but due to our, the number of students we have on campus, it's if you're at a 30,000 enrollment institution, the class may be offered 4 times during the day. For us, it's only offered once, so you got to go when you got to go. And but that's when they walk across that stage in December, it'll definitely be worth it.
A senior player who doesn't graduate until the spring, are they still with the team even though the season is over?
No, and that's something I need to. No, they're not, because we're out recruiting, and December and January we're out recruiting, and then February you start building your new team, and those guys are finishing up, and a lot of them get part-time jobs. A lot of them, their time management isn't as it's the only semester they're here for 4 or 5 years that they're not their day is not accountable to you.
Right.
And so some of them look forward to that. Some of them take advantage of it and do the right thing. Then there's some that still do not handle that not having that structured day as well as they had for 4 years previous. And sometimes you see their grades even slip less, even though they're not at football every day.
Wow. Yeah, and I can see it's got to be a transition for them and a little bit traumatic because some of those guys have played football every single day of their life since they were in the 6th grade.
Well, it is, and they kind of have a saying, and you're a civilian, but they'll say I'm a regular Joe, like you're out of the military or something. So and that's good. Some of them look forward to it. They know it's on the next stage of their life, and the NFL is not on the horizon, but. It's neat when you see them kind of come back out to practice, and it's kind of funny. The ones that you won't ever come back to practice. Those, okay? But you also know the ones that are going to miss it. Yeah. And they come back and they hang around and watch.
Did those guys become coaches?
Some of them do. I mean, the Darren Feisers of the world, the Joe Gibbs, now Tim Cox will come back out and watches and stuff. Josh Bay comes out there with this ugly little dog that he's got lately. I don't know what's going on with that dog, but that's his new hobby. The NFL didn't work out, so he's got him a new hobby and concentrate on his schoolwork. So it's good to see those kids. We miss them and wish them the best.
Okay, Coach, let's talk about the game, and we'll start in this first segment talking about the first half. And I tell you, It was interesting going into this one because South Alabama's coach said we were the best team that had ever played there. You said they were one of the best teams we're going to play this year.
Yeah, period. Besides, I personally thought they were better. Up to this point, the best team we had played was Jacksonville State. I thought they was good or better than them, and I was right. And on tape, you can tell as a coach when you turn the tape on, when you see the speed, when you see the collisions, when you look at the statistics against good teams, you know what you're going to be up against, and and they were. First thing you do as a coach, especially an offensive coach, is you go to, you see how many yards they're giving up, how many points are they giving up, and then you go to the turnovers and see is their offense turning the ball over, and if they're not turning the ball, if they're turning the ball over a lot and they're giving up some points, you say, well, if they don't get the turnovers, they can't score. But they were maybe not getting a whole lot of turnovers, but they weren't giving up a whole lot either. So they were just really stopping people like they did us, and then plus you give them 2 turnovers like we did, they're going to become more potent offensively. And so I knew going in we were going to have to play well, and we didn't do it, and we came up short.
About their program, and you had talked about this. This is their 3rd season.
Yeah, 25,000 or whatever it was there.
Yeah,
how about that?
They're 21-2, I guess now. There are only 2 losses coming on the road this
two
year.
1A schools. Yeah,
and they have won 17 consecutive games at home.
Right.
When I asked their play-by-play man, how are they so good with that record, he said it's all scheduling.
Well, no, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that helped early. Now, would they be 21-2 if they would have played an all-OVC schedule? Maybe not 21-2, but don't be surprised if it wasn't 18 and something. I mean, they were that good.
And I'm sure they're better this year than they were last year, and last year they were better than their first year.
Right. Well, like the safety they had, number 1. I mean, he's a 5-star recruit out of high school that's out of Alabama, and just didn't work out early enough in his career, playing time or position. He transfers there. He's a Mobile kid, which there's great recruiting in the Mobile area, and you've got a 5-star recruit back there, playing free safety, and he moves. You can tell the difference between his athletic ability than the other 21 people on the field. He's that kind of athlete. So it's just a great hotbed for high school recruits. And you're there in South Alabama. And they'll never be rival Auburn or Alabama, and that's not what they're trying to do. But they're trying to take away some of the fans and some of the interest and some of the players from the Troy States, from the UABs. If Jacksonville State ever makes that transition, and they'll be hard to beat. Because of the number of people there in the Mobile area. And then you're close to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and then you go right on into the Florida Panhandle. So they recruit the whole state of Alabama, they recruit the whole state of Georgia, and they just kind of, select recruit from New Orleans down to Miami. So, and it's just a little bit difficult. Most of the OVC schools, with us being one of them, we've got to drive. We've got to drive a couple hours just to get to the interstate.
Right.
So every school faces their challenges, and that's one of ours. So anyway, Joey Jones, the head coach, he and I talked before the game, and he's very excited about their program and what the growth is. Matter of fact, they were trying to have conversations and get in on the the Conference USA, Mountain West, that whole deal. I mean, that's their aspirations. And so I was very impressed with, even though they have not played a true. There's not full-time members in the Sun Belt. They conducted themselves that way. They really did.
And I think they could compete in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, I do too. Are they at the Troy level yet? Louisiana Lafayette? Probably not yet, but they're getting they will be very soon. But what I was impressed about just their whole program was the number of people they had on the sideline and coaching and weight room. Assistant coaches.
Well, okay, here's the deal, and we saw it in the press box too, even with their media relations. They're putting money into the program.
No question.
That's the bottom line.
There wasn't a whole lot of difference between except the size of the stadiums when we got there compared to when we went to Knoxville.
Right.
I mean, you got there, here's towels, here's this, here's that. They were there to help Butch, our equipment guy. They're really impressed with how they carry their program. And now some people work there for the stadium. And then the other people that were there were administrators through the university. So take your hats off to them. That's a program that I'm very impressed with, and I'll be pulling for them as they move on, in their future years.
Okay, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the game specifically. UT Martin Falls at South Alabama, 33-30, more coming up on the Skyhawk Sports Network.